morning, everyone.
Good morning.
You know, one of the reasons I'm a Christian and not something else is because Christianity speaks of some realities. I think realities about our human nature, which other systems of belief maybe don't want to believe. So it speaks about the reality of sin, I think, meaning our human cussedness and inability to perfect ourselves. But Christianity shows a way of getting out of it, of righting ourselves, of living in grace, if you will, not getting bogged down with this kind of stuff that threatens to bog us down day by day. Christianity encourages us with many metaphors, vivid metaphors about the Christian life available to each of us who try to follow Jesus. Salt, light, blood, bread, breath, all these daily, ordinary things around us, which for the church speak extraordinary grace to us also. So this morning, salt. You know, in our scriptural and cultural traditions, salt goes back to Mesopotamia, to notions they had of salt symbolizing purity and salt symbolizing wisdom. Animal sacrifices in the ancient cultures were sprinkled with salt as a way to just get out any other impurity that might be lingering in the sacrifice, so that the sacrifice was totally pleasing to the God to whom the sacrifice was addressed. We know for sure that ancient Israel in their temple worship in Jerusalem used salt. And in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, salt is one of the chief Christian metaphors for life. You think about it, everybody has it. Salt makes food taste better, generally. Chefs I've known say put salt in it, forget the low salt diet, put the salt in, it tastes better. Salt preserves food from, hopefully, from spoiling. And interesting, there's a term in Greek that's translated in English as staying with them, like I went to stay with them. And actually in Greek it's I went to share the salt with them. So sharing salt was a sign of intimate table fellowship, too. So salting someone, or someone being salty, was also a way of sprinkling everybody with wisdom. And wisdom in our tradition is generally practical knowledge about how to live and survive in this world, being God's woman or God's man. So they say, oh, be careful, don't lose your saltiness. Apparently some salt in the Middle East, if you got it from a certain place, was mixed with all kinds of impurities. And so it kind of went ugh really quick. We Americans don't understand that because we generally have purified salt. Anyways, so it got lost its saltiness. And losing saltiness was a metaphor also for being foolish. Don't be foolish. Don't lose your salt. Don't let your salt lose its saltiness, its flavor. So, have salt in yourselves. We're encouraged by Mark's gospel this morning. What's that mean? You wouldn't be surprised that because it's so cryptic in the manuscript tradition of the New Testament, there's all kinds of people that have added stuff to this to try to make sense of it. So perhaps it means, though, in the words of the psalmist, Psalm 90, teach us to number our days that we may apply our hearts to wisdom. Meaning, let's, God, please cultivate in ourselves and in each other the ability to know the truth and to speak the truth. To be known as people who say yes when we mean yes and no when we mean no. To conduct ourselves in private and public as folks whose word is our bond and folks can trust it. To be people whose integrity is unassailable and whose hope is in the perfection of God, not in some human perfectibility that may never come about. It also means, I think, to live life with courage and humility. Gosh, all this sounds so old-fashioned. It means, I think, to know ourselves as imperfect and at the same time never settling to be imperfect, like we're always almost there. I'm getting there, God. A colleague of mine has written that the disciples of Jesus are not urged to be salt, they are defined as being salt. what could be more worthless then than saltless salt? So Mark says to his Christian community and to every Christian community since, be true to who you are in Christ. Saltiness gives salt its identity, and in the same way, you are to follow and obey Jesus, becoming more Christ-like, God willing, every day, week by week, month by month, and even decade by decade. Some of us in this room have been going decade to decade, right? And we say, God willing, I'm a little better than I was the last decade, for sure. So the Christian life is, in the end, I think, not about believing certain things, saying certain words, or taking doctrines to heart, but rather about following this Jesus in this life, being true to who you and I are, and to being true to whose we are also, as we walk ever closely with him. Now that, I think, is Christian saltiness. And I taste it around here